I just saw Palutena, and Palutena is fresh in my brain.
Yeah, especially that default skin. I believe he uses that too.
But he is going for it, actually. I don't know what he's like. Some level of trolling here. Grimace not want to shy away from the trolling.
Nah, I do not think this is a troll pick at all. If Grimace has an amazing set record in Quebec against everyone besides Remrin.
And
Remrin has been and you. Sorry, gotta put respect on your name.
It's all good. I'm retired. I'm joking. I gotta joke a little bit in this
topic. Out of the
topic.
active players, I'm sorry, but yeah, Remrin kind of had his name for a little while, and I believe he just wants to stay as far away as from Game & Watch as possible. Because Remrin's kind of smacked that Game & Watch up a little bit. So
yeah, people have been actually asking advice from Remrin how to deal with Game & Watch when we were struggling against Grimace in the first place. She just has a way of dealing with it that no one has really dialed in on. So the switch, not too unwarranted.
Yo, this Palutena is also kind of getting cooked right now, but he made it back on stage as I'm saying that. It's really cool to see like Grimace being able to have multiple characters, which he excels with. Earlier, I saw him play Pokemon Trainer on stream. I know I wasn't commentating, but I thought that was sick, which is why I'm not sleeping on this Palutena whatsoever. And I think it's cool. If you have a character that's getting its number just picked on over and over again by a player, it's time for a switch. At least you'll learn something.
Absolutely. And, I think that Grimace is that player that does really attack your mental game, right? He's always that player, whether it is with Game & Watch, Crom, we've seen the Sheik, anyone that he can really play, and now Palutena as well. He can do that. And Remrin, everybody knows, it's not a secret that Remrin, when she is on point, she is one of the best players in this region. Like, if not her phenomenal neutral game, her speed, her capitalization, all of that is just so strong. But if she is off in her mental game, she crumbles. And that's where this is going to be the true test. Finally, though, not going to show the threat that is coming in from Grimace, as the response here in the first stock does go to Remrin.
Yeah, I think on paper, too, this is a beautiful counter pick to Mewtwo. I mean, you have such great aerials to anti-air Mewtwo, such a big body that you're going to get those Nair strings. You do have the reflector, so big Shadow Ball's kind of going to be a little scary for Remrin to throw out. So on paper, really good matchup, especially on Battlefield, those platforms. If you've ever fought a Palutena, you know Palutena loves platforms. And right now it's looking pretty even.
They're looking really strong in the first one. What I actually love about Remrin a lot is that you mentioned, of course, she's very confident when she goes on the go. What I actually like about her a lot is that she's not scared to go off stage. I feel a lot of players in Montreal, they have to stay on the stage and hold their ground. She's not shying to go off stage, and especially against characters who think they can recover for free. She puts you on notice.
Yo, this neutral's kind of looking crazy right now. I feel like it's like nobody gets hit for a good while, and then it's trade advantage. But for like, I think at least 15-second chunks, nobody's getting hit whatsoever.
I think that's just the beauty of Battlefield, right? Especially both of these characters have these auto-cancels with their teleports, and you're able to apply so much pressure from both of these characters. Palutena, the teleport, and here we go, the down smash, also a very safe tool, and such a great way of pressuring in neutral. Both of them trying to feel each other out and finding this place, but none of them is going to keep neutral for long, because as you said, Exo, it is really, really hard to keep that on a stage like Battlefield, where one person's going to get hit, you're going to continuously just kind of get and change that advantage, which is this case going into Grimace.
Yeah, especially when you have such a defensive player and such safe characters like Mewtwo and Palutena, right? Grimace known for not being scared of going to time, right? I think without a doubt the person who has gone to time the most in this room. So, he's always got the eye out on that clock at the top right corner of your screen. Not scared to just play defensive, take his time, and as a character like Mewtwo with the Shadow Ball, with the long tilts, with the good pokes, is also going to tend to play a little bit more defensively. So I think the neutral that we're seeing makes a lot of sense if you're thinking about these characters and these players on paper.
It's actually blowing my mind right now how well that Grimace is keeping up with basically barely even a secondary. I never even see him play the Palutena. This must have been just like a Remrin-specific counterpick. As you mentioned, Remrin has had the download on the Game & Watch for quite some time.
Yo, that was incredible. Did you see what he did? He did a spaced fair into turnaround to get the roll and
that was
instantly
raw.
grabbed. That was insane. Yo, Remrin's still in it, though. Again, I'm super impressed by Grimace, but I'm even impressed by Remrin. Not losing composure. I know for me personally, when I see somebody not playing their main, I'm like, come on, man. Come on, man. But in a situation like that, she has respect for every character that he puts out, and it's so hard for her to land right now, but I know the moment that she does, that's when it's like Grimace's turn to be a little bit worried.
I feel like it's also expected, right? When you're not doing well with a character for so long, at some point, out of the 90 characters, you are going to try something new. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And Grimace isn't the kind of guy who is going to just try this character for fun. Like, he's going to really work hard with this character and study these matchups so that he can make it work in these situations. That's why he's got now an edge guard situation, kind of protecting this ledge and this center, spacing out. But that fair Polar, it is way too big.
We are getting to a last hit scenario here. This is scary. One good hit, one Palu backer, one Mewtwo fair at the ledge. Could spell wraps. They just got to both be careful. Yeah, Grimace has been going for this dash attack often. It's been working, but you got to be careful. Mewtwo's fair out of shield is really quick. The dash attack, though, is going to take the stock and the game. A minute and a half left on the time, but we are not going to need the timer. Palu going to take the last stock.
Insane that this counter pick worked. He must be so happy about that. I was really curious to see if Grimace had lost that matchup, would he have stuck with the Palutena because he was so close regardless, but he doesn't even have to think about that because the win going in his direction.
I learned something new today just watching that interaction. I never, ever, ever thought of doing a DI mix-up like that because he got up from ledge and he instant dash attack. No way Remrin's reacting. Remrin's
That's a
trying
fast
to
move.
That's what I'm saying. She's trying to position herself in a place where she can cover regular get up. So she's dashing in. She got dash attack back. The atrocious DI, but it's not her fault.
It's not at
Who
that
expects
moment.
that?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you are in the moment, and we can't forget that in this game, Ultimate specifically, when you are dashing, you cannot shield. So you were in that dash situation. You understood and collected data that you're dashing. Dash check was such a great time, especially that Remrin has had the habit of staying in that dashing space. So it made it so hard for you to even, one, react, and two, to actually get that shield out to stop the dash.
I mean, we're hyping up this Palutena. He did win the game, and he's like, yeah, that's cool. Look what I could do with Aegis now. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Grimace touch Aegis, but it honestly wouldn't be surprised if I did see he had a good Aegis. Like Palutena, right? Grimace is known for his Game & Watch, that Sheik, the Chrom. These are all characters that aren't too, like, nuanced in the sense where they don't have weird setups like Pac-Man, like a Steve, right? They're just base, good old fundamental characters. If you're good at the game, you're good with those characters. Aegis being one of those. So I see that he has a good Palu. I wouldn't be shocked if this Aegis puts in work. And right now, again, a really even game. Maybe he's figuring out he just wanted a little bit more grounded speed compared to that Palutena, a little bit more pressure on the ground. That's why I'm guessing he would go for an Aegis pick over something like Palu. Maybe even the stage. What do you think about Kalos?
Well, you gotta keep in mind, too, the reason why Remrin is in losers to begin with. It was actually Armadillo who did not rock the Lucario, but actually took a 3-0 victory with the Aegis. So I think, like the last game with the Meta Knight, I think he may have taken some notes and tried to copy some homework of his own.
Yeah, I was also wondering if it might be stage specific, because, and also maybe it's not. The Palu didn't clean house with Remrin. You know what I mean? It wasn't decisive. Oh, this Palu's gonna beat Remrin every time. So I think it's kind of cool. Now you got the game lead. You go see what works.
Ooh.
Just up in the jump there.
Nice.
That was such a juicy snipe, as we might say there. The Shadow Ball completely decimating Grimace. One thing I wanted to talk about Grimace, we all know that he's had quite the break, right? I mean, he's been gone for about 6-7 months, and he has spent some time with me yesterday. We had a great conversation about how he has not really practiced 1v1 at all. It's really been about doubles, 3v3s, and quadruple, and Exo's looking at me because he knows the power of doubles now. But, you know, you learn all these characters so quickly when you do play in these more for fun, casual experiences, and you apply it to your competitive skills. And I think that's why these characters are mixing up Remrin so hard, and it's keeping it at such a close pace. But yo, Remrin definitely did not like that, Polar.
Well, speaking of mix-up, I don't think that was cute. I like that. The confusion to disable, and she even tried to get like an up air, IDJ up air. I think that could have even finished off with a fair. That would have been immense damage. Still, you got to get off the ledge against this Pyra. How do you do it? Those big aerials, so hard to go through, especially when you have that big tail, that big hurt box of Mewtwo.
That's it. She just makes it a giant target. Not only a big target, but also a very light one. Wouldn't be surprised if another up air takes out top, but a switch to Mithra, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough here to recover. And none of them have edge guarded each other, by the way, off the get-go. Even though Pyramid thread recovery is not good. It is not good. Okay.
It's like the one thing keeping her in check, okay?
Right? That was incredible DI from Remrin, by the way. I want to mention, like, I got hit by the up smash 100% of the time. 100%.
Everyone did. Everyone.
100%.
It's like one of those like up smashers that you're getting hit. You see like Palutena just charging an up smash, and you're like, don't get up, don't neutral get up, but you're gonna neutral get up in the end.
Speaking of walking to a smash attack, as he gets sent down to his last stock right now, Remrin with a bit of a lead.
I'm just wondering, too, if this does go south for Remrin, which, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I don't want to commentator's curse or anything, but she has so many characters in her sleeves as well, in her repertoire. I'm wondering if she is going to swap, and right now it's looking like there's no swap needed, 76% without barely getting touched on her second stock right now.
These down smashes are out of pocket, for real. And
what?
That was incredible.
Bruh.
That was incredible. I
Don't
like
mean
that.
it.
He didn't chase her up there because last time he did, he just didn't get anything out of it. He caught her on the way down. Super smart. Super cool.
Absolutely, and such a good reset. Honestly, I mean, 100%. Yes, high percent for sure, but we're on Kalos. You are technically still at 50, and you also are Aegis, right? One of the best characters in the game, and when you put that with the power of Pyra, with a lightweight, you know, Mewtwo with a big tail, I mean, that's just a target waiting to be blown up.
Yeah, but right, it's so scary. Mewtwo, I think the epitome of a glass cannon character, hits so hard, but is so light. 141, you have to avoid back air, shadow ball, forward air, down smash. So many things to avoid, Grimace. Got to be really careful. He's sticking to that Pyra. I think he wants an early kill. This would feel really good if you're Grimace. Getting a big downer up air, going to the Mithril, back to the Pyra.
That's going to be swinging to his favor right now. Despite what the percentages show, with the Pyra, this is basically even. If he fishes for one downer, up smash, that's going to be it. As he switches back to Pyra, trying to catch the landing on the Mewtwo.
This is terrifying. That was for sure a misinput. That was a side B and a half, which I actually wanted to talk about that side B. We keep talking about Mewtwo's big frame, especially the tail. It happened so many times where Remrin barely gets clipped because the tail is so big by the beginning of the side B, but doesn't get hit by the multi-hit because a move turns you around. And she gets turned around and her tail is no longer in the way. And that side B did not help like Grimace as much as we expected. What's going on through his head right now?
You know, I really think it is the mental game, honestly. I really think at this point, like, it's really stage dependent. It's working. You're seeing Remrin kind of have a very close game each time, and it's quite a challenge. But I think she's also very much still showing how strong-willed she is, especially when you take a game like that, right? You still win that game. I think if she did not take that game, that would have been a really bad sign for her, but she did, and I think it was a breath of fresh air for her. Now we're on a beautiful world called Town and City, playing with the animals. I mean, you're now refreshing that mindset. And never mind, you're you don't know what? She gonna take that. She don't care, Polar.
Dude, guys, get your tinfoil hats ready at home. I have a theory. I have a theory to this Fox. I think Fox is a really good character going into Mewtwo, right? Because of all the things we talked about, the big frame, that lightness, super easy to combo, right? I think that if Grimace does win this game, goes on to game 3, I think he's playing the long route. Because Remrin hates fighting Fox with any other character besides Alex. I know you're looking at me.
My God.
Dr. Mario.
I finished my thought. I think he's baiting a Dr. Mario potentially, because I think if we're going to a game 5 and he can somehow fight her Dr. Mario with Game & Watch, I think he's putting all of his eggs in that basket, and I think that is a very favorable thing.
Polar, call me crazy. That's all I've been thinking about this whole set. But I didn't want to sound crazy from game 1. You know what I mean? But I've been thinking about that, Doc. Every time I see Remrin on the set, on the sticks, God damn it.
Like, it's entirely possible, too. We were basically saying that, you know, maybe Grimace did not have the answer for the Game & Watch. I think he's just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. And to be honest, all these close games, it's kind of working.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I really believe that, again, it's the mental, right? Grimace is the kind of guy who's very much a thinking kind of person, right? You know, he's on that Concerta, okay? I talk to my man, and he knows his brain is always one step ahead. He's thinking of not today in the moment. He's already on tomorrow. He's thinking of next week's set. So because of that, I think you're right. He's trying to get that Dr. Mario out. And game 3 especially, you have that counter pick advantage if you win it. This is a really, really big, like, issue that could be for Remrin. But, again, no, not going to hit the down smash.
It's an interesting place to try practicing stuff, especially with a pot the size we ever had here in Quebec.
I mean, when your set record is so bad against someone, you kind of just have to throw things at the wall and seeing what sticks. I think maybe he just doesn't know what to do against this Mewtwo. So he's like, on paper, Fox destroys Mewtwo. I'm going to try it. Maybe even if Remrin wins, but she feels icky, she doesn't really want to fight that Fox with Mewtwo. Maybe she'll swap off, give me a game, but I don't know. It's like you keep mentioning that mental. If Remrin is able to realize what Grimace might be trying to do and just stay calm, win with the Mewtwo.
It's back
Looking
to
a little
even.
tough, though.
Plus, what Kelsey, the first thing Kelsey mentioned was Remrin is a phenomenal player, but when Remrin gets into her head, that's when she starts showing her flaws a little bit. So I fully understand, like, Grimace putting everything he can into it. And look, yo, he's doing really good with all of these characters. Honestly, if it... I'm going to... Oh, no!
Big, a high recovery. Is that going to cost? Doesn't get the stock, though. And I think it's more of a pressure thing right now because I don't think Remrin wants to give him the satisfaction.
With the up air?
You're fat. Never mind. You know, we were good. We got Fox. Yeah, it's fine. You got those iron boots coming in. Oh, wanted the drag down. Unfortunately, I feel like the hit of the tail might have even maybe finished it. But there you go. Got yourself a reset into the neutral, putting out a wall. Don't forget Fox, a very vertical character and also a very lightweight character, so you are not getting it, and that's gonna put Remrin on the board, showcasing her mental strong gameplay, counteracting our commentary. You know,
Yeah,
we're talking
for
about
sure.
it, but we don't also talk about that. Yeah, you understand you have a flaw, but if that means you are working on it, right? When you are constantly working on it, that means you are ready for these tests. And an exam from Grimace, I feel mentally, is always the best way to test your mental gameplay.
So we might not get the Dr. Mario if that was the
100% now. It's gone. It's
But
gone.
we
It's
do
not
have
coming.
one chance right now for Grimace to throw one last thing in the wall, I guess.
If I'm
He's
Grimace,
got one
you
chance.
have to try to go back like Battlefield Palu, right?
I
mean, it worked. It wasn't a clean victory. I know Grimace loves his, he loves to show that he's the best player in the room, right? He wants to win cleanly, but no. Going back to the Game & Watch, I respect it too. It is your main. It is above and beyond your best character, right? He is good with a lot of characters, but I think there is quite a big gap between that Game & Watch and what would be his second best. So sticking to what's true. Maybe he got the info he needed. He knows how Remrin wants to approach this set. Maybe the Game & Watch is going to work a little better. I'm expecting a much slower paced game than we've seen before.
Well, that's
especially with the
exactly it.
Fox.
He's probably going to his tried and true. If he's going to go out, he's going to go out fighting with the character that put him here in the first place.
Yeah.
But Polar, am I wrong? Isn't it modified DSR at this tournament? I don't think he can go because he hasn't won a game since that Battlefield game.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
True.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess with thinking about the stage list, if there would be no Battlefield, maybe that's another reason why he's not really feeling confident in that Palu. I guess maybe he's like, the platforms really helped me. I don't know if I could win on a stage like Hollow Bastion with Palu. I do respect the Game & Watch pick, right? I feel like you can never really go wrong with your main, even if you don't like the matchup, even if you've gotten bodied in the past. New set, new me, right?
He's doing really well, too. I mean, he's got the advantage. He's got the stage control. He's got the hammer with the down smash, too. Again, this is also a mix-up, right? Like, if we really took deep into it, you give yourself a break. You're like, I'm not going to give you that Game & Watch. Like, it's fine. And then when you pull it out all of a sudden, you suddenly now have to change your entire play style again because Game & Watch is the kind of character where you cannot play your game. You are playing Game & Watch's game.
Especially if you're thinking of the pace switch from Grimace. Yes, he is a defensive player, but he was just playing Fox.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a campy Fox. Maybe a patient one, but Fox is running at you. He's going to dash attack your shield. He's trying to get those nairs, those up smashes. And then you go to Grimace, Game & Watch, who's literally known for taking you to time and taking his time, finding his openings, creating those openings. It's
Hey,
kind of tricky to
yo!
get used to.
Well, that's just it, Polar. Like, keep in mind, too, Grimace got to have 3 games against the Mewtwo, but Remrin did not have a single game yet against the Game & Watch. The intel is at least there for him, as I think Exo was actually talking about before.
Yo, honestly, my brain is jumbled, and I think Remrin's might be as well. Because you were talking about how, hey, typically with this character, he plays relatively campy. He's been dash attacking her every time he's gotten the opportunity. He's holding W nonstop, which I don't even understand. This is so far and so far-fetched compared to what I know from like Grimace before. But I think that's exactly why he's doing it.
Yes.
He wants to make Remrin's extremely good game plan against him
Absolutely.
a little bit less less like
a little trickier.
Exo, I completely agree with you. I think that the mix-up and also the stage, Hollow Bastion, not really that kind of stage where you are going to stand back, right? This is a little bit of a smaller stage, a little bit bigger than Smashville, but you're probably going in, and when you really mix it up, especially coming off of Fox, right? Like, you have that momentum, and Mewtwo in general is the kind of character that because Mewtwo is so floaty on landings, you're going to scoop under so much easier and just keep advantage all the time, even though right now, I mean, hey, Remrin looking pretty good with that advantage state. Never mind.
She is a whole stock behind, but I think you mentioned the Hollow Bastion counterpick. I think it is beautiful of a counterpick from Grimace, especially knowing he was going to go back to Game & Watch just because of that middle platform. That middle platform is at such a perfect height to get one nair on the ground, get another, then on the third nair, you jump onto that platform, you have extensions, that's 2 nairs, plus the train of up airs, plus Mewtwo's so floaty, so Remrin's going to be staying in the air for longer. And I mean, it's just been advantage state simulator from Grimace. Is Remrin going to be able to somehow squeeze this game out? I'd say it's very unlikely at 132%.
It's tough to say, and I feel like I opened up saying that Grimace is a bit of a troll. Like, he'll take the opportunities to kind of josh on his opponent, but I may be wrong. I think he's actually a genius because he's not playing Smash right now. He's playing chess. Like, he knew I'm going to play Palutena here, which will open up this route, and now he's on the 4th game, potentially looking to win with the Game & Watch that gave him a hard time in the first place.
Yeah, he's kind of big chair there, taking the game. Super good from Grimace. I think now it's going to be Remrin's counterpick, which is extremely good for her in this situation, knowing it's probably going to be Game & Watch. Actually, she knows for sure.
Yeah.
Because he's got to pick first.
Yep, absolutely.
And if he does bring out Fox for some reason, she can pick Doc if she wants.
Oh, it's coming!
You want it. You want it so bad. You want it
we
so
want
bad.
to see it, but you know what? If she does take the set, we do have an opportunity to see it in the next set, right? So this is kind of that little motivation for Remrin to really take that home. And on the other side, Grimace has never looked that good with Game & Watch against Remrin. It was very, very forward. It was convincing. And I think that that casual skill gameplay coming in too of just enjoying how to get in, but how to respect each character really showed such like an improvement coming into Grimace's style as well. Very refreshing.
I'm seeing the Towner pick.
The Towner pick. Can we get that on a t-shirt, Noodle? Like, I would love that.
Towner pick City. Anyways, I was going to say, I really like this. I think that middle platform Grimace was able to get so much value out of it. I think removing the platforms, I believe if I'm not mistaken, Grimace would have banned Final Destination.
Yes.
So this is the next best thing, right? I really like Town and City here just because it doesn't give many platforms for Grimace to have those nair juggles, and flat stages is really going to benefit Mewtwo with those long-range pokes. What do you think about it, Derek?
It's tough to say, too, because obviously a stage like this, Mewtwo's going to want to use the Shadow Balls. It's not really an option against the down B coming out from Mr. Game & Watch. You can actually use that right back at him.
Yeah.
You'll call me a nerd. Technically, she's not allowed to be on this stage.
Ooh.
Because she's won on it last. That means that like he must gentleman to this stage.
No, but
this is a stage he beat Fox on.
So he's not only a genius, but a gentleman as well?
He's a gentleman. And
he's every man's dream.
He's comfortable on this map. He's like, you want to go here? I want to go here. That's convenient.
Right.
So that might bite Remrin in the butt, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's such a mental toll again, right? I think that it shows that means, like, Grimace really doesn't care, but you probably should, because that hit definitely hurts. You know, we're going to start seeing Game & Watch looking a little black and blue instead.
We see Grimace get away with that a lot, but not this time. She's been so good on timing those down smashes.
Yeah, especially because Grimace put himself in a situation that was genuinely incorrect and put Remrin, basically Remrin had one answer, or sorry, Grimace had one answer to recovering. Since he went that low, he had to air dodge up, which means he only has one timing, which means Remrin has that down smash almost for free.
Oh, yes.
Like what the fair that kills so early, not quite going to do it there. Looking for a double dip with the down smash, not quite going to do it.
She's looking really good right now. I want to say she is looking like, compared to the last game, it's looking like her game plan is fully in action right now. Because she's not holding in on... Wow, that was beautiful, by the way, out of shield. Really cool. But it's looking like she actually knows what to do. Last game, she looked a little bit confused.
Oh, my my god!
She's in the driver's seat.
Oh, first you don't succeed, just do it again.
I love that she's also kind of in his head too, right? Like putting out these down smashes, putting out these down tilts, and it's just like, all right, you want to play? Let's play. Let's see how strong your game is. Love the way that she is just really using her spacing tools to just say, I don't really have to contest against you because you can't reach me. So I'm going to use it as an advantage. I'm going to show you why and remind you why that you should not be using Game & Watch against me. But hey, that hammer, not giving the 7 like we saw yesterday. A lot of apples came around yesterday. Number 7 was definitely his lucky number. But that little poke definitely giving a big advantage here and percent pickup for Grimace.
Yeah, while you were saying that, he was able to pick up a cute little 75% string, but still quite the deficit to make up. I feel like the first stock he played it beautifully, and then towards that second stock he was just kind of rushing in, which is really uncharacteristic of Grimace. And maybe, like we were talking about before, he had this big plan. You know, maybe I go Fox. If it wins, I go the Game & Watch after versus the Doc. And it looks like maybe he's getting a little stressed because his game plan isn't working. He's playing very uncharacteristic to how he usually does, and it might be wraps for him, especially if he gets hit by that down smash.
That's it, Polar. Actually, before this game ends, of course, whether he wins or lose, at least I respect the fact that Grimace went with a game plan. He didn't just say, well, I usually lose a Game & Watch. I'm just going to run it out and potentially lose, maybe get lucky. No, he had a game plan going into it. So if he loses, at least he tried everything he could.
He had that 4D chess.
Ooh, that dash. Oh, was that forward tilt didn't kill at 168? That's okay. Well, that dash attack is. This is the opportunity that he has. I think he showed his cards before. If he gets in there,
last stock
we might
situation.
get a hammer.
Everybody, oh my god, oh my god, my guy, please
That
hold
was
it
a
together.
$2,000 3 that could have been.
In all honesty, yeah, like everything's on the line at the moment. So
gosh.
at this point, he's gonna not just use the chair; he's gonna throw it. It's probably gonna be coming out as they get to their last hit. It's really gonna come down to patience. Who here is going to be patient in these last? I love that recovery. Just get out of that situation,
Even with
Polar.
Remrin's lead right now, can't afford to take any risky options against the Game & Watch.
Yo, he's going off stage still after the first 2 stocks. Hello?
Oh, the fair!
Oh!
That was bad DI. She pops off.
Oh god, not the awkward handshake.
We go for handshake. We go for both.
Bro, that's how much you messed up the mind, right? That whole set was a scrambled egg fest.